Hello, fellow Zambians. We are Tanshibanju here. The progress of the country is in the hands of its people. Once again, here with a comment. Some of us, are not sleeping very well on the status quo in Zambia, and it's seriously. Well, I keep thinking about Zambia, our country, and what we have to do to change things. Things have to change seriously. What has happened in the last month? Obviously, now you have seen um, the president going around the country in a fake show, essentially in a fake show of concern. You know, essentially, I look at it as an insult on our intelligence. That it should take a protest that he hankered, that he was so determined to put down, a protest from the bush by some courageous young youth that was so determined to put down, and now he's going around the country trying to sell us false hope. That's essentially what is happening. They have been in government for 6 years, and now, after all this, it's time for this charade. Is putting on this charade, just throwing bones at the youth to fight over. Really, there's no time for that anymore. It's over for this party. But what is more important is what I want to keep talking about is that with more people realizing that where we are is where we shouldn't, is where we shouldn't be. What do we have to do next year? What needs to happen next year? One of my biggest worries is that we Zambians forget very easily what the government is doing right now with this fake semblance of caring for our concerns, caring about our concerns and everything. A lot of people might bite. That's the nature of we Zambians. Our mindset always fails us. What this government is doing right now, you see, I read it, look at social media, look at social media and see what comments are there. You'll be shocked to see how many Zambians are saying, wow, now they're working. Seriously, there are Zambians who are just, you believe that they have turned around, they are working. If you are one of them, I say to you, it's all fake. Forget about it. Let's talk progress. The government is running. You are not going to go to Lusaka, or the youth in Zambia are not going to go to Lusaka to see the vice president or to see the minister of youth and sport. It's complete. It's ridiculous. It's a mockery. It's an insult on your intelligence. That's what it is. So we still need to be very determined, and let's not forget what's happening right now, because Zambians forget very easily. Things are dying down, and you forget what you want, what we want to happen in this country. This country is on a course of destruction, and somebody should put should press the emergency stop. Should press that red switch, the emergency stop, and hit the reset button. That's what needs to happen to this country. So I'm going to be hitting this point quite frequently. Back to 2021. We have our Zambian mindset is a problem. Our Zambian mindset is a problem, people. I'm just saying that it's not insolent. Sometimes we have to recognize what a problem is. Because who created all this stuff? We did. We have been doing the same thing from 1991 up to now. We elect a party, we put it in power. After 5 years, 4.5 years, we start grumbling. We grumble, prices are high. We grumble. No one is happy. No one, they feel nothing is delivered to your satisfaction. None of what you intended that government administration to do is done in 5 years. Then comes the election at 5 years. They win because that 5 years, that 5-year election is easy to rig. They rig it, they win, and then you are in for another 10 years. And you complain and complain and complain. You go from dancing in jubilation on the streets with your shirt off to sitting by the side of a tree, to sitting by the roadside, to throwing stones at the police. It's very sad. It's really sad. And who does this to us? We do. So isn't it time that maybe, just maybe, if we did something different, it would work? Things would change? Can we do something different? So far, what we've been doing is we always have some party, huge party grow up. And they grow up and they congregate and it becomes a mushroom and this big party. Where does this party get people from? They always get people from other failed parties before, and the people in the ruling party, the same party that we're trying to get rid of, they jump ship. They go in there. These are ministers. These are permanent secretaries, deputy ministers. They jump into the party that is congregating and preparing to take power. And those parties say, you are welcome. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. Fools in other parties, fools in the ruling parties, they jump ship and they go over to these other parties. They become heroes overnight. And we Zambians celebrate these fools as heroes. It's the mindset. That's the mindset that I'm talking about. So for once, why don't we address our mindset? Why should we continue with such a mindset? That doing the same thing, never looking, it only comes to be about two parties. This ruling party, which is a major one, and this big one that is congregating here. This will save us. It will save us. It always comes. Zambia is a multi-party democracy. It's not a dual-party democracy. It's a multi-party democracy. Which means that sometimes the party you are least suspecting could be the answer. It's not about the size of the party. The size of the party may be a result of several things. I'm serious. Could be a result of several things. We have to remember that in Zambia, parties do not fundraise among the citizens. Citizens don't donate money to parties. Where do you think they get the money to grow and carry out national operations? Where do you think they get the money from? Somebody is funding them. Their interests at play. They are funded by some external entity with a vested interest. they are funded by the looters, the people that are jumping ship from those other parties where they store money and they bring it there, make huge contributions in millions, and automatically they buy a stake in that party. Which means that when all these people come in there with their own interest, even the people that founded that party are displaced. Because these people, these thugs, come and buy stakes in that party. And when it goes into power, they are the ones who have the positions and the one who have the biggest stake. So the party is not going to do anything for you. This is what we do in Zambia. And Zambians don't think about it that way. They continue to do the same thing. And these politicians, old people, they know. All they have to throw you is a jitenge. You don't think about it. So, what can we for once think about something different that we should do? What is a fact right now, what is not debatable, is that Zambia has to change. Something has to change in Zambia. Zambia, the governance systems in Zambia have failed us. And I'm talking the governance system, the configuration of our government institution as prescribed by the Constitution. They have failed in how they integrally function to deliver the services of government. They have failed. So that demands that this system, governance system, ought to be abolished, because Zambia is headed towards a precipice and someone needs to press the emergency stop and push the reset button. What do we do next year? Next year, it is important for everything. In my view, I believe it is the duty of every citizen to start thinking about what is going to happen next year. What has to happen next year? Who do we put in power? We need to start to examine these parties. Which party is very typical of what we have done before? Which party is typical of what we have done before? That means which party has people jumping from the ruling party and from all the other parties, old ministers, old permanent secretaries, old deputy ministers jumping into it. Criminals jumping into it. Which party? And the president is probably surrounded by thugs. Which party is that? If we find such a party and we vote it into power, we are going to end up exactly where we are, or worse. In fact, worse, because 10 years worth of minerals will have left the country. 10 years worth of copper will have left the country. If it goes into Mukula, 10 years worth of Mukula will have left the country. 10 years worth of gold will have left the country. So let's identify this party and eliminate it from our group, from our selection, from our choices. Let's take a look at politicians, guys. Who among these politicians if we agree that what we want is the change in governance system, which one of these politicians that we have in Zambia has a vision that is aligned to that cause? And it's not just like waking up like last week because you see because you see what's happening in Zambia, that, oh geez, I have a vision, I want to do this. No. Which politician has consistently over and over been singing the same song of liberating Zambia, of changing the government systems because the systems are what is rotten. Not the PF. The government system, Zambia is like a person with a weakened immune system. That's what Zambia is right now. It's like a person with a compromised immune system. So every party infection or whatever you may call it that comes in takes advantage of the weakened immune system to exploit the body's resources. And you put in a body in there, and even when they come in, they look around, they even know the system is compromised. The immune system is compromised. So they just say, okay, it's just a matter of time. Let the person feel better for a while because we don't want to make him think that we are the bad guys. No, let him feel better for a while. Then after they get settled and they feel comfortable in there, they start to exploit the body. Oh, we are going to send some vitamin C to the endocrine system. Send the liver. Send some calcium to the bones. Okay, we are going to we need magnesium. Okay, send some cells in the pancreas, some magnesium. Okay, let's send vitamin D. Okay, we need vitamin D. But they are not doing anything about, and they are consuming more out of your body. You are wasting away. They are not doing anything about the immune system. So we need to fix the immune system. That's what we need to fix. If the immune system is strong, these infections are not going to survive. They are not going to do what they want to do. They're going to be controlled. They are not going to do what they're going to do. They are going to be contained. Only a good is either they turn good, they just start doing something good for the body and the body likes it, or they get eliminated. That's an analogy. So who among our politicians, is there anyone among our politicians who's been preaching the song of transforming Zambia in the manner that we want it to be transformed? I listened to Mr. Chishimba. He held a conference. He had an address to the youth 2 days ago, and I was very touched. This man has been angry about what is happening in Zambia. This is one man that has been very angry. Angry. The truth is, you have to be angry if you want to make a difference. But this man's words, it's amazing that I actually find some people that think it's funny to listen to this man. They think it's funny. I cannot fathom why a patriotic citizen would think that what Mr. Chishimba says is funny. Funny in the sense that, Mr. Chishimba is a joke or something like that. But I want you to listen to what Mr. Chishimba here said. I have an excerpt of his address from yesterday. So let's listen to Mr. Chishimba here, and let's see what we can take away from it. Okay? All right, there comes Mr. Chishimba. All right.
Zambia gained independence in 1964. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda became prime minister, by the way, before even this federation crumbled in 1962. He was age 38. In 1964, he was 40 years old. And that cabinet of young people, the majority were in the 20s, delivered development in ways that no government ever has beaten that record of the unique government of the first 10 years. This is what young people, this is what youthfulness can do. This is what young people can do. The youth of the generation of freedom fighters delivered political freedom for us. The youth of today must arise from the four corners of Zambia. They must arise from the four winds of Zambia and deliver economic freedom. It would be stupid, it would be foolish of all of us to allow common thieves, common looters, to be at the helm of directing security wings of the country. The Zambia Intelligence Service is under capture. The Zambia Police is under capture. Businesses are under capture. Most of the people that become millionaires in this country are looters. They have made their money through corrupt tender deals in government. And we call them the richest men of Zambia, richest men and women of Zambia. They have stolen our money. Now let every looter be warned that this spirit of a revolution of young people that are beginning to unite, that are beginning to stand up for Zambia will not be stopped. And I want to address the men and women who lie in their graves. The men and women whose blood was shed. The Bible says that the sanctity of life is in the blood. They were stoned over Zambia. They died over Zambia. And today I speak to those men and women in their graves that if they are stupid, if they fought for a Zambia in which crooks would rise to loot this country's resources, then let them lie in their graves, if that is the Zambia that they fought for. And I want to speak to the graves in Zambia. I want to speak to the graves to open up and to begin to swallow every looter. Let the graves open up to begin to swallow, to begin to swallow these kind of people who have led this country under siege. They have looted the resources with impunity. We in the UPP long declared the Bring Back Our Money anti-corruption crusade. We are crusaders and nationalists. And we believe that time has come to take power back to the people. The power belongs to the people of Zambia and not to looters. The true definition of democracy, which is a government a government of the people, by the people and for the people, can only have concrete meaning when the power is taken back to counties. We in the APP propose that a government of young people must rise to the occasion and take power from central government, scrap off all useless statutory bodies that have usurped the powers of councils, and the councils must be transformed into fully fledged counties as governments of the people. Scrap off pay as you earn, scrap off all these toll fees on public roads. We have said in the UPP that this is daylight robbery. You can't put toll gates on public roads. Toll gates must be put on roads that are built under public-private partnerships, so that citizens can have an option to either use a public road or an alternative road. How can you have a country where ordinary toothpicks are coming from China, second-hand bambas, knickers are coming from China? You go and buy nika, China fara nika, na Mozambique kafare nika, na bamba kafare, muchaches Mozambique. If you can't call this then I have no definition of foolishness. Say ubuwele in Tonga, say ubupuba in Ngoni, say ubupuba in Kaonde, say ubupuba in Namwanga, say ubupuba in Baba. Whatever language, we must be proud of our languages, we must be proud of our tribes. Probably when we begin to understand ubupuba in our languages, we are going to be angry. We must be dissatisfied with the status quo and arise and demand change. This country does not need any lawyers. When I talk about lawyers, this country does not need accountants. This country needs leaders to manage all accountants, to bring all lawyers, to channel all these specializations towards the building of a strong republic. This country does not need economists. This country, in terms of governance, needs leadership, firm leadership, to drive us out of murky waters. How can you explain it? We have all the resources. We have the water resources. We have arable land. We have gold. We have emeralds. But all the billions of dollars that are made every year from these resources end up in the pockets of looters. The people of Zambia continue to be abused. Look at the countries that have resources. They share in the resources that they have. Citizens don't pay taxes. There are 15 countries that have resources in which citizens don't pay taxes. They apply what are called profit-based taxes. And they apply 85% of profits in terms of taxation to retain the profits in the country. And let's say from oil, the total profits made in an annum, let's say it's $100 billion. $85 billion is retained in Saudi Arabia. It's retained in Qatar. Those countries that invested those corporations, they will take 15%, and that's 15 billion, which is a lot of money. And that $85 billion is allocated to finance public services, and excess is paid to citizens. Each citizen receives money in the account. They share the profits with the citizens. Why should it be difficult in our country? There's no country in the world like Zambia. Zambia is not poor. Zambia is a mismanaged country. When you look at the balance sheet, our balance sheet is healthier than that of Singapore. Our balance sheet is healthier than that of Norway. Zambia's balance sheet in terms of resources. We have Mukula, we discover a resource. Stupid ministers, they begin through the Mukula and they take it out. And then now we have seen a new culture where some of the most hardworking ministers are being haunted through the abuse of the Corruption Commission. We know ministers who have looted the Mukula. We know ministers who are looting our mineral resources, working with corrupt people in the business sector. Any minister who's not working, the corrupt people in government and release the SEC on them. The SEC, with all the men and women who are very professional, is appearing to be like an appendage of the PF government of looters to use against competition. They know they are going to the convention and they begin to look at the ministers that have worked very hard. So there is witch hunt going on right now in the Patriotic Front. Patriotic Front is behaving like a political party of people who have, of course, they have hijacked the party, but they are behaving like children who have elected an estate. Now, those children are children who are very foolish, and they are failing to manage the estate which their father left behind for them. This is the difficulty that you have when you have Bakatete. Because when someone finds something that someone labored for, they don't understand the value, and therefore they begin to destroy. All they know is stealing. When you give a fool something beautiful, something good, that fool will not appreciate the labor that went into building an estate. It is with this in mind that you need to understand the sanctity of leadership, that you are not just accountable to the people, but to the Almighty God, to the Almighty Creator, and everything that you do, be it in private, or whatever you do, you must know that there's Almighty who's watching over you. There are many men and women, children who are dying needlessly because looters have looted, and they are disabling those who are working hard in their own government. The people with a new mindset, the people who want to deliver, the people who want to work are being undermined in the same government. The real looters who are right at the top, who are working in cahoots with some of the so-called businessmen and women, they think that this country belongs to them. I want you to know that what this means is that you people, this is your last year. All the wealth that you have stolen, that you have amassed, I want you to know that you will not eat that wealth more than 2 years from now. There's a countdown in heaven. And I want to appeal to all the young people to begin to unite. And we in the UPP have a mantle for each and every young person across the country. Begin to organize to run as a councillor, begin to organize to run as mayor, to run as council chairperson, to run as a member of parliament, to run for the presidency. There shall be a convention which is going to be democratically held. There is nothing like I'm the leader, I must be a candidate. We want to give a platform to young people to better a new Zambia, because a new Zambia is depending on you. We in the UPP are nationalists, and we believe that time to put Zambia first has come. Zambia first, the people of Zambia first. This is the challenge of our time, and all of us must walk in the spirit of those men and women who fought for freedom. This freedom will be nothing if we do not achieve economic freedom. We need to take over all the spheres of the economy. We need to take over the land. The land belongs to the people of Zambia. Any foreigner has come to acquire land, the Chinese, whoever you are, I want you to know that your days are numbered. That land is going to be taken away from you. That land is going to be given to young people. We cannot say we are independent without land. We need to know that from the very beginning they took away land from our ancestors. All fertile land was taken by settlers. The struggle for independence was initially about the struggle to get back our land. And later, it became the struggle against taxes. Then it advanced to begin to demand representation in the legislative council, which is called parliament today. And therefore, all of us ought to know that the struggle for independence was about the realization of the totality of the needs of a human being, integral development, integral human development. We are talking about the totality of a human person. And all of us must take this very seriously. All of us are being called to this sacred duty to birth a new Zambia for us. A Zambia which is corruption-free, a Zambia in which there is unity. A Zambia in which every citizen has a right to pursue his or her God, given talents or potentialities. This is the Zambia that all of us must fight for.
You listen to that. If you have ever heard of a dream or a vision from a politician, you just heard one. What you just heard is a dream, a vision, but not only a dream and a vision, but with the substantiating passion, drive, and the patriotism that comes with it. That is the substantiation. This man has been preaching this for the last 10 or 11 years. And I've watched him all the time. He's preached this for a long time. And each time the Zambian people have turned a deaf ear. If we want to save Zambia, what this man just articulated here is exactly what needs to happen. I have done extensive studies myself into this governance system that he's talking about. That is exactly what we need to do in Zambia. Take power back to the people. Create strong governments out of local governments. Create independent governments out of local governments, running under the auspices of the central government. Governments in which a president will have no authority to go and influence a local government administrator. Just today, Mr. Nung was in somewhere in Western Province? Somewhere there. where he was directing a local government to start building houses. He's directing a local government to begin building houses. Everything in Zambia is under the president. So, I want you to compare what you just heard. That is the spirit of patriotism. That is the drive, the passion, the anger that changes a country. That's what you just heard in that man. At some point, you see him tearing up. You can hear his voice breaking. You can actually hear his voice breaking at some point. But that's the kind of person that you need. We don't have much to lose. He may not have a huge party, but for once, it is time to break away from what we have always done. Let's surprise ourselves. Because the smaller the party is, this man has just shown you what caliber of mindset he has. He has the caliber of mindset that becomes the transformation that we covet. And he has a relatively small party, but he doesn't need a huge party because that takes a lot of money, and you have not donated any money to him. So what we need to be is his party. If we want to transform Zambia next year, we have to become his party. That's what we have to do. So next year, think carefully. Listen to the rest of the message on the UPP Facebook pages. Listen for yourself what this man stands for, and spread the word. If this message touches you in any way, and you see substance in what he's saying, a substantive pursuit of an object that will yield the ends to which we ought to institute a government, is evinced in this man's words. So, just wanted to get something out there today, and to start for you guys, just saying, start thinking about it today. To start thinking about something like this 1 week before elections is not patriotic. It is our duty to start thinking about it right now and keep it alive. Start talking to other people in villages everywhere. Start talking to everybody. Influence as many people influence the mindset of as many people as possible, because it's going to be crucial. It is crucial. What kills us is our own mindset. Therefore, the citizens' mindset must change, and it has to take the youth who have the energy, everybody, to talk to people, old and young, all those people that are on the side, all those people that are just used for votes, to talk to them and educate them that what has to change is not a party or a president. What has to change is the manner in which we are governed. We have to have our own constitution and break away from the British, parchment that we call a constitution that has brought us here, that cultivated this mindset that we have about government. So, that's my comment today. And for citizens, be well.